Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a different view and an aspect of the Sync Talk podcast here on the newly named Sync Sports Network. We have a coach's interview to start off with the brand new platform of what we're doing here. With me today is the second year, going to third year head coach at North Surry High School, Jackson Smith. Coach Smith, welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, congratulations on the this past season, winning the Foothills 2A Athletic Conference Championship, undefeated in conference, a 7-4 record. A lot of improvements from the year one to year two. Before we get started here, just kind of talk a little bit about yourself and how you're able to grow up into the ranks of head coach at North Surrey.
Yeah, I thought that this year was a pleasant surprise for us. We as a program felt like that we could get over that hump. I'll be honest, as a coach, I was really hoping just to see us kind of grow internally. When I got hired, I felt like that it was going to take some time to kind of get back to and be in a position to where we could compete for a conference championship. So to grind that out and be able to accomplish that in year two was pretty special. So I'm excited to get back to work. Our big stressor this off season has been kind of now that winning is an expectation, there's a lot that comes with that. There's a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of pressure and things of that nature that you need to prepare for as athletes and as a staff. So this all season we've just been kind of trying to really hone in on that and go out and defend our conference championship.
Absolutely. So let's kind of dive into those games last year. 1-4 to start the non-conference schedule. Obviously, four very tough opponents. You started out with at that time the defending, now back-to-back state champion Mount Airy Granite Bears. Obviously, one of the oldest rivalries, one of the best rivalries in the state of North Carolina. Then you had some tough matches as well. You get your first win of the year against a South Stokes team that has still trying to find their identity, especially going into second year with Justin Rogers. You play a tough South Caldwell team, which is a 3A team, and then you finish out with week four against and the tough. I mean, the scores with West Stokes, come from behind, back and forth, high scoring game. So, what was that shift focus you told your team going into conference play? I mean, most teams down at 1-4, they're going to fold. But like for you guys, what was it that just changed the momentum and the dynamic going into conference?
I think it was just kind of the guys really adopting a one and no mentality. I think at times it can be really stressful looking at an entire season and looking at even an entire game. Like we as a program, we really try to break it down. We try to make that coach really overemphasize coaching points during practice and throughout the week that we just want to minimize as much as we can. Obviously, you need to have an overview. You need to have knowledge of situational things and stuff of that nature. But for the most part, we try to break it down as one rep at a time. Just go out and win the next rep. Go out, win the day, win the practice. Go out, win the week, and then like I said, just kind of that 1-0 mentality of breaking everything down and keeping it small. I was so proud of our senior class for keeping everybody together because, like you said, it could have been really easy to fold. To fold in and go into conference play and kind of lay down and stuff like that. But those guys were willed and determined. And the reality what we try to preach to our guys is non-conference is just that we are trying to prepare ourselves to go out and accomplish our first season goal of winning a conference championship. Obviously, you still want to win week in and week out, but ultimately, one of our first team goals is to go out and win a conference championship. So when we knew that was still on the table, the guys really bought into doing everything they could do to make that happen.
Absolutely, and it definitely showed throughout the conference with some tough wins, especially the last game of the year at home in Toast to secure the conference championship as you defeated a longtime rival in conference, out of conference, whatever it might be against East Surrey, which we had the pleasure of covering that game, and it was a phenomenal time to be there in Toast. And talking a little bit outside of the football team and stuff, but talk a little bit real quick about how that community backed y'all so heavily last year, especially near the end of the year.
Yeah, man, this is such a special place. I can't begin to describe how blessed I am to be here. Be the head football coach of North Surry High School. There's so much history and there's so much tradition, and there's so many people in our community that just love North Surry football. And so to see, the amount of people that came out to support us, really not even just that last game, but all year long. And it's one of those things that you tell the kids, hey, stay in the boat, keep rowing at 1-4. Our community did that too, and that's what was really phenomenal to see is when maybe someone in my position would maybe feel a little bit of heat on their back after starting 1-4 and being 2-8 the year before. I never felt that at all. Like I said, I'm super blessed with a really great community. I have a fantastic group of parents in our program right now, which makes things even better. And so for us to go out and give what I feel like our community deserves in a conference championship was really special. And like you mentioned, against a quality opponent like East Surrey, I'm a firm believer that Trent Lohman is one of the best in the business around here. His program is always top tier. His kids are always ready to play. So to go out and get a quality win against a program like that with a lot on the line at home was really special.
So let's dive in a little bit to this season. I know you have released the schedule. A lot of the schedules around the state will be the same, just flip a home and away. But let's talk a little bit about this season coming up. Very exciting things to see. You bring back your starting quarterback who is on our all triad team, and you bring back a lot of pieces, including Fisher Leftwich as your top receiver. Anthony Williams was one of your top offensive linemen. So you bring back a lot of the key pieces that are needed for this team offensively and that will play it defensively as well. How has the offseason work been so far? I know spring camp and spring practices are around the corner, but how has the offseason been so far for you guys?
Yeah, no, off season's been great, man. Coach Daniel Drawn is my strength and conditioning coordinator. He's an alum here. He's also my defensive coordinator, and I can tell you right now, I'm a firm believer that he is one of the most premier strength and conditioning coaches around here. He has been all over the country at Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Wake Forest. I mean, he has been with the elite of the elite, and so to have a piece of that in toast, working with our kids every day has been fantastic. And like I said, I have 98% of my roster in weightlifting, which is a huge success for us as a program. So not having to really kind of worry about before school, after school lifts, stuff of that nature, has been really nice. And then, at our level and our kind of motto as an athletic department and being 2A, we share a lot of athletes, which is phenomenal. We want our kids to play everything and anything while they're here and while they're a high school athlete. Me, Coach Johnson, our head baseball coach, Coach Tyler Bentley, our head basketball coach, and the other coaches in the building are all really, really close. So we work together to share athletes. So in the off season, man, I really just push my kids, hey, make sure you're lifting weights and make sure you're doing something. I'm also an assistant coach for track, so I end up peer pressuring and recruiting a lot of my guys to do that in the winter and the spring if they're not playing baseball or basketball or anything else. So that's really kind of our only goal right now during this phase. And then we do some small group and individual stuff when we can, but we'll really get cranked up when those spring ball days starts here in about a month. At the end of April, we'll go 10 days up there before the week before exams, before that dead period starts. We'll do a 2-day week where we knock out that week of just helmets, and then we'll come back with 2 4-day weeks where we'll get to put on some uppers and get to move around a little bit. And that's such a really cool period of time that the state allows us. It allows us to eval, allows us to kind of see where we're at. We get to see where kids have grown a little bit. Before we head into summer ball. So that's kind of what we're doing right now is just, trying to keep our nose to the grindstone, our head down and go to work. I mean, that's what this community is built on. That's kind of the identity that it embraces. So we try to embrace that too. And, I'm so proud of our kids, man. They've worked really hard. So I hope they're as excited as I am about heading into the spring ball period.
Absolutely, and the hard work definitely shows. I mean, the transition from year one from year two under your helm has been great to see, especially as a guy that's covered the area for the smaller 2A schools, and for North Surry in general, winning their first conference championship since first time in 2017, where I was on the field facing against North Surry, unfortunately, when they were underneath Danny Lyons, who is on staff.
Mhm.
It's a great opportunity to see, a great thing to see at North Surry. Coach, one final question. As you look at the schedule, obviously, as we said, it's the same teams played, but there's a lot of different changes throughout the schedule, including week one. Not trying to dive into the key games and everything like that, but obviously, just recently, Mount Airy did announce that Austin Taylor is the new head coach at Mount Airy, who has been on staff. He's a younger guy. I'm sure you know him really well. So talking about the game, not necessarily the keys, but just the excitement of that game alone. I know it's been tough years, in the past, but going forward and in the future of these games, how exciting in general, if you could tell the state, is Mount Airy versus North Surry in Mayberry, or Mayberry and Toast, like those two communities coming together and playing week one.
Yeah, I think our I'm hoping that we can do our part and we can raise the bar and we can make that game more competitive. And you mentioned Mount Airy just hiring Austin Taylor, who I can tell you right now is going to do a fantastic job. He is the right guy for over there. I've known him for a lot of my life, and he's a really close friend of mine, and he's going to do phenomenal things over there. He has such a great work ethic and such a great mind for the game, and so I'm excited to see what he does. And I root for him all but 1 week out of the year. And but I think this game is right now. You have to kind of find the line a little bit. This game can't undermine or it can't roll into the following weeks because at the end of the day, it is a non-conference game, and that's what we tell our kids. But from a pride standpoint, there is a lot of pride in this rivalry, and my kids know that, and we don't diminish that. I mean, I take a lot of like I said, I take a lot of emotional pride into this game. I'm a third generation person in my family to be a part of of this game in a sense. My grandpa played and was a state champion at Mount Airy High School and played against at the time Franklin High School in White Plains before there was one North Surry High School. And then my dad and uncle played at North Surry High School. We're both very successful football players here. And then obviously with my career, like I said, I have a lot of pride in this rivalry. And so but like I said, you got to find that line because at the end of the day, it's very minimal in what you're trying to accomplish from a season goal. But like I said, we preach going 1-0 every week, so we'll prepare this off season and we'll prepare that this summer and that week to go 1-0, and so that's just kind of what we do is just really try to make sure our kids understand the importance of the rivalry, but also understand the importance of our team goals and kind of our overview on a season.
Absolutely, guys. Once again, this is the head football coach at North Surrey High School, Jackson Smith. Coach Smith, it's great to get a chance to catch up with you before the season starts. I'm excited to be able to come out some during the spring and summer ball, see the action as you guys look to repeat in the Foothills 2A Athletic Conference champions.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for everything you do for our kids, man. This is phenomenal. Your coverage is top tier, and hope people really tune in because our kids work really hard and they deserve it. So thank you for highlighting them.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach Smith. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you.